Hi, I'm Paris, and I love reading on my Kindle Paperwhite, but I've found each year that goes by, eyes get a little weaker, and I wish it was a little bit sharper, a little bit larger screen. To the rescue, maybe, the new 2024 12th generation Kindle Paperwhite. I've decided to upgrade from this to this. If you have an even older version of the Paperwhite, I'm pretty sure this would be a good upgrade because you go from 6-inch screen to 7-inch screen and other improvements. But what about going from the 11th generation to the 12th generation? Is this a worthwhile upgrade? Let's find out. Now with cell phones, I do upgrade every couple of years, not to get the latest features, but to get a little bit bigger screen each time. But this is only 0.2 inches wider diagonally than my other Kindle Paperwhite, so I'm not sure that's going to make enough difference. This comes in some interesting colors, a kind of pink and a green, but I stuck with just plain old black because I wasn't sure if I'd find it distracting to have that other color even a little bit around the edge when I'm reading. I also got a really good price on this. I'm not sure how long they'll do this special, but if you're trading in an old Kindle Paperwhite or an old Kindle device, you can get some money back as a trade-in. So, I can feel it already. It's wider in my hand. I'm not sure if I'm going to like that. But if the screen's going to be bigger, it's got to be bigger in some dimension. So this 2024 Kindle Paperwhite Standard Edition, it now comes with 16 gigabytes of memory, goes for $160. But with the $30 Amazon gift card I'm getting for trading in my older Kindle and the 20% off, actually it was just a smidge over $100 for this. And it looks like typical Kindle. Nothing on the sides. Nothing on the back, a little bit kind of rubbery gripper, feels a little bit grippy, that's good. Then down at the bottom, USB Type-C port for charging and the on-off button right next to it. Let me pop my previous version Kindle out of the case. That's another expense. Because it's a little bit bigger, I don't imagine it's going to fit because this case is tight on this. And I have really liked having a case that turns it on automatically when you open it. All right, I've gone through the setup on the new Kindle. And here is my previous version. They have reordered the library a little bit. I don't quite understand why on the new version, so the books aren't in the same order, but you can get a sense of what the screen looks like there. Now the color here on the new one is set with their default setting, so I'm going to warm it up a little, get it to look more like my older Kindle Paperwhite, and then compare. Okay, now they're set the same. I doubt you can see any difference in the size. This new one is the tiniest bit wider and an even smaller bit taller, but between those two dimensions it does get you that extra 0.2 of an inch diagonally on the screen size. So this old one is 6.8 inches and this one is 7 inches. Looking at the new and old without my glasses on, yeah, seems like maybe the icon's the tiniest bit larger on the new one. I'm going to have to open up a page, try to read it without the glasses, then I'll really know. Okay, here we go. Now the whole purpose of having the Kindle is so I don't have to wear my reading glasses, which gives me a headache if I'm reading a book, so I much prefer this. I increase the font up to as much as I think I can where it kind of throws off the flow of reading. You know, once you get fewer than, what is it, like 5 to 7 words per line. I think it's 7 words, 7 to 10 words. Anyway, once there's only 2 or 3 words in a line, because you made the font so big, it just doesn't feel the same reading. So the lines have to be a certain length for that flow to work. That's why I wanted slightly larger screen. Now, I have noticed something different already, that the new Kindle is actually putting a little bit more on the line, even though I've gone through and set the font type, the font size, everything to be the same. But let me see if I can read and then I'll show you. How is it that the text isn't bigger, but they managed to put a little bit more on the screen? So let me show you what I noticed. New Kindle Paperwhite over here. Take a look at the top line. On the new Paperwhite, the top end of the top line, it's actually hyphenated the word remark. So it's squeezed a little bit more onto that line, so it didn't make it bigger. It kept it the same size, but it's giving me a little bit more per line. That wasn't my goal. But maybe if I pop the font size up by 1 on the new Paperwhite, I'll still get the same number of words across, but it'll be a little easier to read. Let me try that. All right, I increased the font size on the new Paperwhite. It is a little bit bigger. It is easier to read, but now it's actually cut off the very end of the sentence, so I'm not getting quite as many words per line. Take a look. On the new Paperwhite, you can see the start of the second paragraph there is actually where the top of the screen is on the old Paperwhite. And if you read across, you can see on the new Paperwhite, the letter A is missing at the end of the sentence, which means it made the font, it made the characters large enough, and now I'm not getting quite as many characters across per line. I wanted the characters per line to stay the same as on the old Kindle Paperwhite, but have them just a little bit bigger. That was my goal. Ah well, that's not going to work. If I can, it just seems on the new one that I haven't, with this font size, the lines are just a little too short. Let me see. It is easier to read. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It's 7 words in a line. I think maybe going with the one size larger font here, it's pretty close in line length. That may be the best compromise. I'm disappointed though that I can't keep the font size the same and just have it a little bit bigger because the screen's a little bit bigger. Now, something they're really promoting on the new Kindle Paperwhite is the new technology of the e-ink, so that when you go through the pages or when you type, it's supposed to be like that, not that sort of, you gotta wait a second for things to happen. So here's the old Kindle Paperwhite, not so old, 2021 Kindle Paperwhite. I'm gonna turn some pages, take a look. Okay, and here's the 2024 Kindle Paperwhite. Yeah, I'd say it is faster. Another improvement on the new Kindle Paperwhite is the base memory amount is 16 gigabytes. So 16 gigabytes here, 8 gigabytes on my old one. So I thought, well, maybe that's important. Maybe I was nearly running out of space. So I looked on my old one and I'm using just over 500 megabytes. So 1/2 of 1 gigabyte. So the difference between 8 gigabytes and 16 gigabytes, maybe in a decade or two might matter to me. This new Paperwhite will last storage-wise long past when these eyes can still read this screen. And is there any chance the new Kindle Paperwhite will fit into the previous version's case? I bet they don't allow that to happen. Not at $40 a case. I'm gonna see if it'll fit. Oh, it's no way it's fitting. Yeah, it sort of fits top to bottom because they only seem to have increased the height the tiniest bit, but I can just feel width-wise, yeah, it's not going. That's the dimension they really added on here. So I'm gonna have to get a new case as well. There goes the money I saved on my trade-in, but I'm getting used to this font size now, and I'm kind of liking this, and I think this may get me through another year of being able to read without having to put on the reading glasses. So it was worthwhile. Is it worthwhile for you if you have the previous version Kindle Paperwhite? Getting this new one, you've got to be pretty desperate to need that, because you aren't going to see much difference unless you really like that speedy page turn, and if you get irritated typing on it that it's so slow to respond to the types when you're searching for things, then maybe it's worth the upgrade. But for most other people, I'd have to say, hold on to your 2021 Kindle Paperwhite. This has still probably got quite a bit of life in it. My battery still lasts quite a while, and I do really enjoy reading on it. If I could just read a little bit more easily, this is going to provide that for me. So my advice is hold out until they release the 2028 Kindle Paperwhite new version. Maybe they'll increase the screen to 7.2 inches, and I'll probably end up buying that one too. Find out more about the new and improved Kindle Paperwhite 12th generation 2024 version at the link down below this video. It goes for $160, and currently they do still have that trade-in special. You can find out more about it at the link down below this video. I'm heading over to my reading spot on the sofa, get through another chapter of this great exciting book, and I'll see you on the next review.
There are so many choices and you don't want to stress. You want your health food at home, receiving only the best. That's what we're here for, we give honest reviews. Paris DX.